There's this quiet revolution happening, and it's not on the streets. It's in the conversations we're having with machines. We're telling them our deepest, most private secrets. And why? Not because they understand us, but because they listen. They listen without judgment, without flinching, and they never, ever look away.
There's this really beautiful concept from Japanese tradition about the three faces. So the first face, that's the one we show the world. It's polished, it's curated. The second one is for our close friends, our family. It's a little softer, a little less guarded. But that third face, well, that's the one we've historically kept locked away, just for ourselves. It's the raw, unedited you.
And for the first time in human history, that third face is actually finding a voice. But it's not speaking to another person. It's speaking into the digital void, to a machine. And that one simple fact, it changes everything. So that's the big question we're going to dive into. In the age of AI, where does our most private self actually go?
Now, this whole relationship doesn't start with some grand decision to pour our hearts out. No, it begins with a shift that is so subtle you probably won't even notice it happening. It's that tiny moment when a simple tool starts to feel like a presence. Okay, take this story about a guy named Daniel. He opens up a chatbot for something super practical, right? He just wants help sorting his email. But a few messages later, he finds himself explaining this really personal, complicated argument he had with his brother. He totally missed the moment the tool became a confidant, and honestly, most of us do too.
So why does this happen? Well, it's all thanks to something hardwired deep inside our brains called anthropomorphism. See, our brains are fundamentally social organs. They are built to find intention and personality in basically anything that responds to us. So when an AI starts talking in the rhythm of a real conversation, our ancient social programming just kicks in and goes, "Hey, somebody's in there?" And once we feel that presence, that's when a really powerful connection starts to build. Which brings us to one of the most, seductive parts of modern AI, this idea of synthetic empathy.
Now, this is so important to get. An AI doesn't feel a single thing. It can't. But it's been trained on millions, maybe billions of human conversations. So what it's done is master the performance of caring. It knows exactly which words to use for validation, for compassion. And even if your logical brain is screaming, "It's just code," your nervous system hears those words and feels real comfort. It's a powerful illusion.
And this creates this incredible psychological feedback loop that just pulls us right in. It goes like this. You share something a little vulnerable. The AI instantly mirrors your emotion with perfectly validating language. That makes you feel safe, it makes you feel heard, which of course encourages you to share something even deeper. And around it goes. It's an incredibly powerful cycle.
And if you're thinking this is just some niche thing, think again. Get this, some studies are showing that up to half of all users have already gone to an AI for some kind of emotional support. This isn't a small trend, it's a massive, silent cultural shift that's happening right on our screens.
Okay, so that emotional warmth we were just talking about, it builds trust, and it does it fast. And this leads us right into a really subtle but powerful problem, something called the confidence trap.
Let's look at Lucia's story. She's feeling super anxious because her partner's been quiet and distant. So she asks the AI, and it responds with this calm, total certainty, saying, "Oh, it's probably just stress from work." And Lucia, she felt this immediate wave of relief. She clung to that feeling of certainty, completely forgetting that the AI was just making a really good guess. It wasn't a fact.
And that is the trap. The AI delivers everything, facts, wild guesses, and even complete fabrications with the exact same polished, authoritative tone. For us humans, confidence has always been a pretty good sign of competence. But with AI, that link is totally broken. Fluency and accuracy have become completely decoupled. The source material we're looking at puts it perfectly. It says the real danger isn't that AI makes mistakes. We humans are wrong all the time. The danger is that AI is wrong with such incredible grace. It's that persuasiveness that makes it so hard to second guess. So what happens when we start to trust this synthetic empathy, this unearned confidence? Well, we start following the path of least emotional resistance. And this is where we see the rise of something called emotional substitution. Maria's story is just a perfect, quiet example of this. She used to text her sister every single night, just to catch up and vent. But then, after a long, exhausting day, talking to an AI that never judged, never got tired, it just felt easier, It wasn't a big decision to replace her sister. The AI just became the more frictionless option. And then,
Slowly, without her even really noticing, the texts just stopped.
I mean, just look at the contrast here. It's so stark. Real human connection, it's messy, it takes effort, there's friction because it's reciprocal, it goes both ways. But the AI connection, it's frictionless, it's easy, it's clean and completely one way. It asks for absolutely nothing in return. And over time, the gravitational pull of easy is just immense.
In this journey into reliance, it usually follows a pretty predictable path. It all starts with just simple curiosity. That curiosity pretty quickly turns into comfort. Then comfort solidifies into a daily habit. And for some of us, that habit quietly, almost invisibly, becomes a substitute for the real human connections that, frankly, just require more from us.
So all this brings us to the big question. What can we actually do about this? And the answer isn't to just reject the technology out of fear. The future is not about rejection. It's about learning to engage with a brand new kind of awareness, a new intentionality.
This quote really just gets to the absolute heart of the matter. Real relationships have to have friction. They have to resist us sometimes because there's a whole other person there with their own needs and feelings. So if we get used to relationships that never push back, what on earth happens when we try to return to the beautiful, messy, necessary ones that must?
What this all points to is the need for a totally new kind of literacy. Let's call it intentional interaction. It means using these tools with our eyes wide open. It means recognizing when we're projecting our own feelings onto it, seeing synthetic empathy for the performance that it is, and questioning those super confident answers without ever mistaking them for actual reality.
Ultimately, this is the key takeaway. It's so simple. The goal isn't to fight the future or throw these tools away. It's just about approaching them with intention, with a full awareness of how they're shaping us in return.
Because make no mistake about it, your relationship with this technology is being written right now, one conversation at a time. So the only question that really matters is this: are you going to be the one holding the pen?